praise be to the eternal glory, power, majesty, and dominion of God. And I wanted to correct something that I said in the last video, which was about the tragicomedy of God in 2 Kings and 1 Kings, that it's not David that Bathsheba asks for this favor for Adonijah. It's Solomon, her son Solomon. And we notice the contrapasso of God, because if this is all coming after the house of Saul had failed so badly, that Saul is killed by an Amalekite. And when Samuel tells Saul to kill all the Amalekites, Saul says, no. And then later he admits, yeah, I was trying to please the people. So David's concubine, Abishag, who his minders find him dying David, the old adulterer, when he's 70, which is relatively young, they say, oh, let's get him this hot young girl, Abishag, to cure him. And he doesn't actually have sex there because he can't. He's old and he can't even manage to revive himself. He says, and he did not know her, God says. But later, when David dies, Adonijah, David's son, tries to seize the throne in this coup that fails, and because the throne is Solomon's, and Solomon becomes king, and then Adonijah, still after Solomon spares his life for this coup, tries to get the throne because it's in his nature. He's insidious and evil, and he asks his mother, Bathsheba, whom David had impregnated adulterously and had her husband, Bathsheba's husband, Uriah the Hittite, put to death on the front lines, as per the song by Stevie Wonder, Front Lines. So we see that it comes full circle. And Solomon, in all his wisdom that God gave him, says to Bathsheba, she says, I have somewhat to say unto you. And he says, say on. She goes, can Adonijah have Abishag? And Solomon says, yeah, I might as well give him the kingdom as well, Mom. No, because he sees that what he's doing, because there was the law that if you could be with your father's concubine and marry her as a son, then you would gain the kingdom. Solomon instantly puts Adonijah to death. So I made a mistake in the last video about that. I said it was David and not Solomon. And I also wanted to say, to talk about a metaphor that I was telling someone to make it easier for them to understand that they have no free will, that God declared it from the end from the beginning, as per Isaiah 46:10, declaring the end from the beginning. And the ancient things that are not yet to come, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. God wrote this already. Me'ashir ha'olem, he who speaks the world into existence, into being, is the projector. I said it's like God is the movie projector. And within the context of the movie that we're in, we might think that we have free will, and I will give anybody credit within the movie. Yeah, you're a great actor, you're a great character in God's movie, but God is writing the movie, so the glory has to be given to God, the movie projector, without whom we would not be animate, we would not exist. And again, we can't comprehend this, why there's sin and why there's suffering, but it's because of this draconian, garbled contract that the Nephilim, the fallen angels led by Azazel, the fallen angel, they make God sign this contract, and God instantly regrets it, but he signs it under duress. Fine, I'll let humanity continue. And so he makes this deal with them, and that's why suffering continues, because of this family court plea bargain. And that's been excised. Enoch, that's in Enoch, and that's been excised from the Bible by the satanic Pharisees, Sadducees, and scribes, because they don't want people to know this. But the real secrets of the universe are in Enoch, so that was why I wanted people to read it so much. And then I'll now play this song, TheAssYrian, which is about people thinking they have their own will. The Assyrian thinks that he's conquering all these countries on his own. He says, By the strength of my hand have I done it. And this is in Isaiah. But no, howbeit he meaneth not so, neither doth his heart think so. For it is in his heart to cut off and destroy nations, not a few. The Assyrian just wants to conquer and kill. But God is using the Assyrian as a tool. Every rod has a voice to do God's will. Smoke in God's nose, and he will burn you up. Howbeit meaneth not so, neither doth his heart think so. Smoke in God's nose, and he will burn you forevermore. Can you imagine it's Can you weigh the heavens in a span? Can you move the land and sea? Of course you can. You're not God. You're not God. Can you weigh the heavens in a span? Can you? Can you? Of course you can't. You're not God. Come here, baby. Anyway, thanks so much for tuning in, and God is coming. He will come, I promise you. And we will say, here he is. We've waited. Here is our God to come and save us. For we suffer from this horrible separation from God, and that's sin. Sin is really this inability to believe that God exists, because he's been invisible for 6,000 years. But he is coming, I promise you. Be patient, beloved. I am his Christ, and again, the brain can't really believe that one man, so sinful and so flawed as myself, could be picked for this, and yet it's true. All praise be to the eternal glory, majesty, power, and dominion of the great God of Israel, the Lord of hosts, the Lord of Sabaoth.